Hello there. I am so glad you're here tonight because I am going to be having the most fun and really great show tonight. I am um, having a great weekend. I hope you are too. I hope that you have been spending your time with people that you like and love. And if I seem sunburned beyond belief and hoarse and, you know, all those things. My grandson won an all-state tournament yesterday afternoon, and it was an all-day baseball extravaganza. And I was screaming the whole time because they were just rocking it. So yeah, I've got a little bit of an interesting voice tonight. We're just going to call it raspy and sexy, and we're going to go on with the show. Thank you so much for being here because I love Fate Magazine. I love doing Fate Magazine radio, and that's because I get to speak to some of the coolest people on the planet. Tonight's guest is someone that fits right in that category. He is someone that I met up at the Eureka Springs UFO Conference. Y'all remember that because I was so excited for it. And he's pretty special. He is the owner with his bride of Buelow Wellness Center. He is a Reiki master. He is a QHH2 level 1 practitioner. He is just amazing with his energy. And I got to utilize one of his devices while we were in Eureka Springs. And I'm going to tell you that I'm a firm believer in it. The energy that it created around me was so soothing and so calming and clearing. And we're going to talk about what he does and how he achieves that. So, Frank, I'm so glad that you're with me tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kat. I'm
I can't
happy.
hear you.
Oh, not at all? Can you hear me yet?
Can't hear. I cannot hear Frank.
I can.
I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, Carl.
Catch
Well, I don't know what's going on. I don't have anything muted.
Kat, can you hear me?
My volume is up to 100.
Hello?
I'm not getting it either through my headphones or my computer.
Kat, go out and come back in. Go
Back out and come in?
Yes.
Leave and come in? I will do that.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, folks. Maybe.
She
There we
learns,
go.
Frank, she learns how to use hand signals in this.
That's good.
She'll pop out and she'll be right back in and everything.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons I produce her show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technology, man. It's great when it works.
Can you hear us? Kat? No. Okay. She went completely out. Now she'll come back in. But yeah, it was so nice to meet you down there at Eureka Springs.
Yeah, that was our first time down there. That was fun. It was pretty exciting. And
well, that's the same way with me and my wife. That was the first time we'd ever been down there to the Ozark Conference. Yeah.
Nice. Are you from Arkansas?
No, I'm from Missouri.
Okay. Wow.
I'm about an hour north of Kansas City.
Okay. Wow.
So,
yeah, it was great. That was our first time down into through Missouri and into Arkansas altogether. So it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. So
can you hear us, Kat?
I can hear you. And Pseudonym said they can hear everyone on YouTube. So, but I'm here.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you, Kat.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. So, how are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing really good. The weather's been cooperating for the most part up here in Wisconsin, and the garden is flourishing. Most of it, anyways. There's some of it that's struggling a little bit, but no, everything is going really well. yeah, I have no complaints. No complaints.
That's the best way to be. No complaints is a good thing.
Right? Yeah, and just roll with it if there's something that's not quite right. But no, everything's been going well.
Well, I'm glad. One of the things that I enjoyed in doing my research on you was finding that you are a QHHT practitioner. And I have a lot of friends that do that and teach it. And that's such a special thing. How did you become interested in that?
Well, let's say it's been a long journey.
Yeah.
And I think, part of it was back when I was growing up, my father was diagnosed as a schizophrenic and was out of the house by the time that I was 2. And as I kept on getting older, I really was more and more interested in the mind and what it actually held for us in all different aspects of things. So I started studying psychology in college and reading more about psychology and the mind. And one thing led to another. We had a health crisis that actually got me into the area that I'm in now, where I do Reiki and sound healing and QHHT. But I was at an event and a friend of mine, Matt Schmidt, was actually giving a talk. And I had a few minutes. I'm like, okay, Julie, can you just man the booth? And I'm going to go and listen to Matt. And as he was talking, like, all of this stuff I've been saying for a few years now, I'm like, so maybe this is something to start delving into and looking further into. So I took the QHHT class from Dolores Cannon online, and that really started things off. And then I did BQH a year later, which is Beyond Quantum Healing, Candace Craw Goldman, who then kind of opened it up. She was actually Dolores's first level 3 practitioner. So she knew things inside and out, and what Dolores really wanted to do as far as quantum healing and the realm that it can take on. And so that's where I went, and I love it. I love doing sessions. I'm so grateful that people come to us to explore these different aspects of their experience and go either into a past life or into moments that they more or less forgot that they lived through during this lifetime. And man, it just really opens up a lot for a person to experience these things and have these moments of clarity and guidance. And that,
Yes.
for me, is huge. And when I can take somebody over into the spirit realm, that is where some really amazing things happen, where either they go off to some healing ponds, or they look at the tapestry of life, or they experience things with past loved ones, past animals. They really just heal. The whole thing is about healing. It's about clarity, healing, gaining guidance where you're lost, and kind of opening up a new way to move forward in your life.
Well, and that's really important, because I know that personally I get, have gotten bogged down in the emotions or, the heat of a given scenario. And it's, even with my background and what knowledge I've gained through what I do, it will still stymie me. And I have to kind of step back and go back and research, even with going back to old shows, right? When I was talking to people so much better than I am at some of these things. And I'll go back and they're like, oh, let me try this. And it's helpful. So to be able to come to someone like you who has the full training, who's good to go, from all levels of this, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to have found it and to be able to guide people into these different areas of their life. and I don't know, be a part of it, learn from it, because everything that they're saying and experiencing is a lesson for me as well. So all of this really comes home to me and for me. And I'm grateful for everything that I've done up to this point, because no matter what I've went through, it really kind of helps me with everything that I'm doing for people. So yeah, it's been great.
We know nothing happens in a void, right?
Oh no, gosh, no. I could sit in one space and have life pass me by and learn absolutely nothing, or I could get out there and get hurt here and there, learn things, have lessons, experiences, share that with other people so that maybe they can avoid those potential, downfalls or pitfalls, and get further along than say I or somebody else would have, because they had that knowledge that I experienced.
Exactly.
And then also, when I'm in these quantum healing experiences, I'm a better guide, because I can actually ask proper questions to people about what they're experiencing, where they potentially need to go, open doors that they can walk through that potentially another practitioner hasn't, because they haven't had the same experience.
Right. Well, that's a big thing too, is that people expect you to come into it. A lot of times people expect someone who's working as their guide through that process, I would think, to maybe, they come in with a preconceived notion of what you should know in that environment. And I have done that. I've been like, well, don't you understand what I'm trying to, and no, because you are not going to understand what I can't get out there.
Yeah.
No matter how good you are, you're going to need clarification, and the client needs to be able to provide that, or a history, instead of just, well, don't you want to guess that? And I want to say hello to pseudonym. So I'm so glad you're here. Just saying. But I just think that, do you find, and I would think with quantum, you do not as much as with average bear therapy, but do you find that people come into it with preconceived notions that are hard to dispel as you're trying to get involved?
There are some, and I feel like there are some people that they want to fix, but they don't understand that the practitioner doesn't fix them. And they don't do any of the background work themselves. They don't, like, I've got a full intro email, and they won't go through it. They won't, watch the videos. They won't do the meditations. And then they still come in having this expectation that everything is going to be cleared up by the time that they leave. And it's not like that. I give talks about like perception and whatnot wherever we go, for the most part. Like, I didn't do any talks down in Ozarks, obviously. But when I do those talks, I want to, I tell people, look, a healer is not going to heal you. The healer is going to open the doors. They're going to give you assistance. They're going to help clear things. They're going to help create alignment, but they're not going to heal you. They are going to assist you in your healing, because you're the one that actually heals yourself. And it's similar in a quantum healing session. The information that comes through, it truly isn't for me. It's not for the practitioner. The information is for you. We can help you piece together how it actually applies, or how it actually melds within your experience. But most of the time, those things are definitely for you. I can have some offshoot of how it actually applies to my life or something like that. But I have no way to know what it actually means or how it pertains to you and your situation. But I mean, some things are crystal clear. Some things are more universal. I had one person who came for a session, and she had a direct understanding of what it is that she wanted to learn. And I feel like people that are on the spiritual path are tremendous in a quantum healing session. I did a session with my friend Matt also, he did quick sessions at events now. And it was really, really quick. And he said the exact same thing. He says, I love doing this work on spiritual people because you just basically get right into it. But anyways, sorry, back to the story. She came and she wanted to understand what it was that she experienced when she went to Greece, because she was at a women's retreat and was having just a blissful time. It was amazing. Every day was just gorgeous. Every day was happy time. Every experience was great until they went to this location where there were two temples at the same space. And as soon as they started pulling up, she started getting agitated, anxious, almost angry. And she was having problems going to the temple because of something kind of stopping her. But she went to the temple and she looked in and she saw a body of a dead woman on the floor. And she wanted to know what that was about, because it wasn't somebody's dead body laying on the floor. It was an impression or an image that she received of this person laying on the floor. The first past life that she went into was that woman. So it was her in a past life. And she needed to understand what that woman went through and the conviction that she had for her beliefs, so that she could pull that into her lifetime right now, because she was doing something similar in a different time. So this woman had worked with natural remedies and she was the healer for her community, but a group of men were coming in with their own style of like a tinctures or some sort of medication. And they wanted her to back them with the community in their healing style. And she refused. So she said, no, absolutely not. That's not going to heal this community. So they killed her for it. And so that was something that she needed to pull into this lifetime. But then right after that, then she flipped into another lifetime, and her lifetimes were kind of really extreme. She was tied up and she was going to be sacrificed. But she didn't realize in the beginning that there was a group of women that were there that had all been pulled in from a nearby tribe, and one of them was going to get sacrificed. So she wasn't selected for the sacrifice, but she was then sold into slavery, and she was held in a man's keep, the person that purchased her. And then that individual gave her everything, but she was a sex slave. So she was kept in this room, and the only thing that she would get was food, and she would, get drink, and that's basically it. She would never be able to leave. And then finally, about 7 years later, she formulated a plan. And finally, when he came to have his way with her, she took the bedpan and cracked him over the head with it and ran and escaped. But with that, there's a huge lesson in that. And ultimately, we don't know where we are or where we're being kept or what cage we're in. But until we finally make a decision to break free from whatever constraints or whatever prison that we're in, we will never, ever leave. We will be constrained within that. So whether that's your mind, whether that's an actual physical location, whether it's a relationship, whether it's family, whatever that is your constraint until you formulate a plan and actually break free from whatever that is, you will never leave. But you can. And she had no idea what was on the other side of that door. She had no idea how to get any further than, just on the other side. But she went, and she had an amazing life. Very, very cool.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah, so that was one of the more universal type experiences that people have.
Well, and that really is, because everyone finds themselves from one degree or another in those shoes.
Absolutely.
And, there are people that cannot find their path out, that continue there. And sometimes not all prisons look like prisons.
Right.
So it's completely a personal experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very true. I recall when I was starting to go to school for psychology, I found some tapes about, I can't remember who gave them to me, but they were psychology related and psychiatry related. And there was one tape about drug studies. And they were studying rats in cages and getting them addicted to cocaine. And so they would put a lot of cocaine in at a time. I mean, granted, not right away, but they got them up to a very high dose of cocaine. And then they decided, okay, well, let's see what they're going to do. Put a whole bunch of cocaine in the cage and left the door open. And they left.
Really?
They left. So what was the pull? What was the harder pull? They did that because they couldn't leave. And then finally the door was open. So they decided that they could leave. And so they left. So what is it that's creating the addiction and not being able to leave? Like a lot of times, is it a moment? Is it a moment in time that the person can't break free from? And so you cage yourself within that experience.
I think that's
So
frequent.
I'm sorry.
I think that's a frequent scenario because it's scarier to leave than to be there,
Right. Yep.
even with
Exactly.
an issue.
Yeah, the comfort that you are experiencing is comfortable because you know what to expect compared to what it would take if you left. And
And
yeah,
rats are smarter than humans, apparently, in some cases.
yeah, yeah. So you can,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a really, I don't know, more universal type of experience that, yeah, goes throughout a whole line of things. But
Well, I'm a paranormal investigator as well as a researcher. And I find that often, I've been in locations where spirits would not move away from the structure, right? No, you can go. You can go towards wherever you want to go. Nope, not leaving here. And it's really funny because I have a friend who owns an old jail north of here, and her spirits in that house are a lot of retired law enforcement, deceased law enforcement. They go to the 9/11 memorial on 9/11 every year. But there's a train where there is no train any longer that comes to get them. I mean, it's really fascinating. She's done a lot of research on this. There's actually a book coming out. But it's the coolest thing ever. But as a rule, they don't leave until it's something that matters to them like that. And I just think that it's kind of weird that even in an afterlife, spirit, I mean, they'll go to do what they want to do, obviously. But for the longest time, they're still there. And I do know that's true because I made them mad one night. Yeah. And so that was exciting. But they are there. Yeah. So, well, I mean, I did know that. And I have to say hello to, I cannot say Melinda's last name, but that would be somebody that I know and love. So hello, I'm glad you're there, and I hope you learned something. But anyway, it was, and I hope you're not sunburned. But it's so funny because, I've also had an experience in that location where we were doing, it was a public investigation, but I knew everybody that was there. We all were friends. And one of the people one of the spirits was trying to manifest, and or somebody felt like that. And they were like, well, let's just make a light bridge. And I was like, let's do that if you are not afraid to. I mean, there's some strong energy that can be brought to that. And the whole downstairs area lit up, and my friend that had come with me to be there, because it is a trip, um, was still sitting there, and she was like, what did you do? you know, I was like, he wanted to make an energy grid. So I gave him energy. But and that was really cool because it did work to a degree. But and how did I know they were sunburned? Because I'm good. But it's so funny because the the energy that came for that light bridge was not what that person was anticipating. And but I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have to know what you're asking for when you're dealing with something you don't know. You have to talk to somebody about it. And, it's like when you say you want to flow energy, don't grab my hands and then act surprised, right? It's just like when you're healing. Don't tell me that you need this done and then act surprised when it happens. I'm sure you get that a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the very first person that we ever did Reiki on in public convulsed the entire time.
What?
I was floored. Yeah, I was just taken back.
You were tripping out.
Yeah, I was kind of tripping a little bit. That was like in 2020 also. So I was like, holy crap, what was going on? But she just was having a huge flux of energy, and it was only, I think in the beginning there, we were doing 10-minute sessions, just quick sessions. But
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. But then she spent the next half hour after that just releasing at the table. So that was one of our
first. How did she release?
She just bawled. She cried.
Oh, bless her heart. But how wonderful for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, and some people I don't think are really ready for what's coming because energy can really kind of burble up things that you've experienced that maybe you haven't kind of had come to your present moment in quite some time. So you can have experiences. I've had people that have full-on visions that have, might be just colors, but I had somebody have a full vision while they were doing a Reiki and asked me, well, what the heck is that? Or what was that? I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. I was just.
Wasn't mine.
Yeah, it wasn't mine. So what did you experience and how do you interpret it? That's ultimately what it comes down with. That's what most of this is. These experiences are individualized for the person. Granted, once you start getting into group energies, that's a little different. But, your individualized session is for you. Whatever you experience is for yours to interpret. I mean, the person there can help you with it. Granted, there's some readers that are extremely, extremely connected and can probably give you a very, very accurate reading and tell you pretty much everything about it. But at the same time, within that moment, that is a moment worth of information. You could take a left turn instead of a right turn, and then that information is no longer valid. So all of it, there's free will. And I had a lesson about that a long time ago. And that's one of the reasons why now, if somebody asks me anything about future issues or future plans or future things, I will not talk about it. So, because I did.
Well, that's something that is very bizarre, because what I didn't understand and have really only recently come to really get is that, you know, if you listen to your intuition and you take that left turn at Albuquerque instead of the right one, then you either, you can be missing a life ending moment, or you can be going into one. I mean, when you listen to your guides and follow that, then they know where they're taking you, or you may not.
Very true.
It's
possible, but you still have the free will to choose.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
You do. Yep. And that's why people are always so shocked that something negative happened based on behavior patterns or whatever. And it's like, well, what did you really think was going to happen? I mean, and I've had people that would tell me, oh, well, I'm protected always. I'm like, you can be protected, but not from yourself. I mean, you're making the decisions, you're making the calls on what you're going to do. And so sometimes that's interesting to just sit by the wayside and watch too.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the things that I really appreciated about Dolores's work also when I first started getting into it, was throughout my life not having the same, I guess, picture that others did of what this experience is about or what this is like. And then when I finally started looking into Dolores's work further and reading more about her sessions and what she was finding, that was more accurate for me. Basically, that we're having an experience that we signed up for, that we were contractually that we set up everything about it. And no matter what path you take on your life, you did it. You said it. There is nothing that you don't know about. Every contingency was covered when you came into this life. And if you take that left or if you take that right, you designed it. Mm-hmm. You made this for yourself to work through. Whatever experience
I have such a hard time with that.
Right? So, it's
accountability.
But yeah, what is it that you've experienced in your life, and how did that change you? How did that alter you? What lessons have you learned? What experiences would you have done differently? I mean, granted, a lot of the things that maybe are negative that you went through or that you feel have brought about negative consequences, maybe you would try to avoid those, but at the same time, well, you wouldn't have had those same lessons that you did when you did them. So, and don't get me wrong, there are some people that probably have some pretty tragic stories about their life and probably would say I'm full of crap, but the truth is, the experience was there. You had the experience, and it's not the experience itself, it's what we do with the lesson learned through the experience, or what we do with the experience from the lesson, and how we move forward, how we pick ourselves back up. Two people or don't. Two people can have the same experience and one person doesn't get up, the other person thrives harder than they did before. It really depends upon the person and what you do with it and how you see life and how you experience it. And it's just amazing. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be experiencing all of it because I haven't had the let's say the most pleasant of times for parts of my life, and it taught me a lot, a whole lot. So.
When we have that kind of period of our life, or if we have a large period of life that is that way, it's very difficult. I used to get so frustrated because people are always, oh, well, you're so strong. You're so strong. You're such an achiever, or such a survivor. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, not by choice. Absolutely by choice. But, but it's such a bizarre thing because you take yourself through things and you come out on the other end and you're like, how did I get through that? How did I get through that? Or what idiot put me in that position in the first place, right?
Right.
So it's just like, well, hello, idiot. But
Yeah.
that's what you decided was going to be the way to go, And when I started talking to quantum healers, I was just like, no, you're smoking crack if you think I chose that. I mean, seriously, no.
Yep.
And the more I would talk to, and these are friends, right? So we're just shooting the breeze over a cocktail or whatever. And I'm just like, there's absolutely no way that I made a conscious choice to go through that.
Right.
And they're like, well, chick, yeah, you did. And I'm like, go away, you're bothering me.
Yeah.
So, then I started getting into researching more about the quantum process and the background of that process. And I'm just like, all of these people are smoking crack. I cannot believe Dvorsky is putting this stuff down and saying that I would be,
Right.
and I've never got to meet her, but I wish I had, because I would have said, what do you mean here? And as it is, it's just hilarious because one of my friends said, you really need to take that class. I was like, I don't think so. I would hurt people's feelings if I took that class, because now I know it's all true. And yeah. Oh, and Melinda says that subconscious choices are made every day. Yes, they are. And
Yes.
subliminal ones.
For some, yes.
Yeah.
For some, they make conscious choices.
Yeah.
Good for you, Melinda, that those conscious choices are being made, because for some people, they just are not conscious at all. And they just keep on letting life happen to them and not for them. And that's part of the problem. Then when you can actually start going into understanding what your consciousness really is and how to utilize every single moment and every single day for your betterment and for what it is that you want to vibrate at and get to that destination, that's truly a blessing. And that's truly what hopefully the work that I'm doing is going to be helping with. So,
well, that's the reason that you do it, because that's your goal. And it's very important to get. I'm 64. I did not get to that point easily, to where, I mean, I was older, obviously, but because I went through, the whole parents issues and the whole bad relationship decision issues and everything else to get to where I am now, which has made me not half bad. Okay. I have learned what's a good idea, right? And I'm happy where I am. And I have a very good life. I have a very blessed life. But I also fully appreciate that, having gone through the ones that I did on the way here. And it's very interesting. And Melinda said basically they're conditioned at a young age to see reality with their physical eyes. And basically they're taught to believe reality, and it's the only thing they know. And reality is, I mean, I'm sorry, you can alter your reality with an instantaneous decision. If you take that left at that, Albuquerque instead of that right, you could just croak right there.
Well, and part of also with what Melinda was saying, our perception plays a large role in our formative years in how we actually grow and how we look at life and how we look at reality and what we believe reality actually is. So like we can watch our parents and how they act, react, then we start taking on those actions and reactions depending upon how we see ourselves fitting within the framework. And yeah, that really starts growing. And when we start kind of taking off, and yes, then you start putting school into it, and then you start putting other children involved in that and how
Special
they act.
values. Yeah.
All of that just keeps on playing, but it's all from the first step. It's all from the moment that we open our eyes, and then how we see and interact with the world. Yeah, our perception is very, very powerful. So,
And, you know, even what gets me, and you might can, you know, this might can feed into this discussion, is that when people have incredibly negative life experiences and they choose, one person I know said, well, I have learned that karma is a real bitch and I'm afraid of her. So I am not going to be doing anything out of line. And that was somebody who had suffered a horrific loss twice.
mm-hmm.
And other people who have come through other things that were equally horrid are just like, well, I can't wait to see what's next because I've got all this stuff behind me. There's got to be something good coming somewhere, right? And it's just one was cowed down by it,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is liberated by it and moving on to the next. And I felt like that person, even if it was another slap down, would just get back up and say, well, that one's done. I guess we're going to go find the good stuff now, no matter how many times it happens.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's the outlook that we bring. And Lynn says basically they're taught to believe reality and is the only thing they know. But reality is, I mean, obviously reality is reality, but we're who alter that. You know, we are who, there's some things that we cannot physically change, but our reaction to it can alter that reality.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
absolutely. And that's like, yeah. And also like if, let's just keep it kind of simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
The choices that we make every single day creates the future that we live in. So if we don't like the way that a corporation is doing things, then why are we spending money with that corporation? So we stop spending money with that corporation and you start putting it into this corporation that is doing an opposite job from this corporation. So that is starting to shift the power, shift the energy flow, shift the money into a different thing. So every time that we focus on the future that we want, or that I shouldn't say want, because want is a place of lack, but every time that we put our focus, whatever that is, if it's monetary, if it's energy, if it's our work, whatever that is, if we put it into that, then that is the future that we're desiring. That's the future that we're aligning with, and that's the future that we will arrive at. But if we continue to blindly give to the same things that we just normally give to, our time, our focus, our attention, our money, then those things are going to stay there. And that's the future that we're creating. And that's what we're going to end up at, because that's what we're aligning with. That's what our energy is. That's what our vibration is. And we're not aligning with anything different. And so we will end up there.
That's a lot of power that we give ourselves if we would just do it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And ultimately, the focus is, I don't want this to sound narcissistic or that, you are the center of the universe, but you are the center of your universe. You are the center of whatever world you're creating, you're the center. So whatever you do, because you're the only person that can control you is you, unless you give your energy and power to other people, you're controlling you and your resources. So whatever you put that out to, that's what you're creating. But you've got that control. And it depends upon what you have or what it is that you're looking to attain. And then the group that you have around you. So
Yes.
the more like-minded people that you gather, the more people that you bring into that energy and that alignment, so that you can create something that's much greater and much grander and align into that future. It's going to allow that future to unfold that much more, that much quicker, and that much brighter.
Yes.
But we've got the power, we've got full control over where our life really goes. Yep. And
that's terrifying for a lot of people.
It is. I believe it to be overwhelming.
Oh, no.
Oh, Cat, you froze up a little bit again. There you go.
And now I can't hear again.
Oh, no. Well, you did say you were having a little bit of weather.
We are, apparently, and now I can hear you coming now through my computer, so we're just going to let my earbuds connect again when they want to. I can still hear you.
Okay. All right.
But
yeah, I do. I agree. I think that it is kind of an overwhelming thing. And I think that one of the things, like what Melinda was talking about before too, is that society as a whole has really kind of shifted, and there are a lot of dynamics that have put the individual on the back burner.
Yes.
And taken control away, or allowed people to give control away to others easily, or they've also taken it easily because of comfort. What we were talking about before with the rat in the cage. Give people comfort. Just give it to them, and give them an easy life. And whatever it is that we want to do outside of that, then that's what we will do. Now, yeah. So I don't know. That's getting a little bit down a different tangent. But it really, I do feel that there's a lot of people that are happier and more content staying kind of in their safety zone, instead of taking full responsibility for what it is that their life should look like.
Yeah.
And I know that, within society, it is difficult to get by on say your own, or being sovereign. It can be difficult, but it's possible. It can be done for sure. There's a lot of people that do it. So.
Well, but it's while that is a frightening thing for a lot of people, it sure is a gift to be able to do that. It's Melinda said like attracts like, and that's true. And that's why you should be careful where you've let your energy flow, as well as your resources, because a lot of people have a hard time defending their energy. And they don't understand, I think, like what you were talking about. You make conscious choices. If you're going to go into this store and spend all this money, then you're supporting what that store represents, as you were stating. And I don't think you quite were that one with the.
Yeah, probably not. No.
But it's true. And, it's like, if I'm going to go to a place that uses and mistreats illegals in their corporate structure, then I'm supporting that mistreatment. And, and there's a lot of that in some of the places I travel to. And especially, well, that's a whole different construct, so we're not going to go there. But I actually do like having people not get offended sometimes.
I hear you. Yep.
But it's really interesting to me because How do people react when they come to you seeking a wellness question answered and they get, this is on you? I mean, I have a doctor that does that, which, the fact that I still go to him means that I'm getting better at taking that responsibility. But he's very matter of fact. And it's like, I have a thyroid condition. Losing weight is very hard for me. Staying fit is very hard for me. So I'm just like, well, and I have a husband that brings home treats, which does not help at all. So I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, well, this is really, David brought home brownies or this, that, and the other. And he's like, yeah, but did you eat them? I'm like, just one box. I mean,
Yeah.
not really. That takes 2 days. But, you have to, that's a very lighthearted way of saying it, but it's a real thing.
It is. It's a real thing. Yeah. And it is difficult, and there's a fine line to walk for sure. Because also my wife does functional nutrition counseling as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a fine line.
And she is very cool in her own right too.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's a ton of knowledge too. She just soaks up information, and somehow, like as far as the physical body goes and how all of it functions with this or that, she's amazing as far as that goes.
And she's very observant too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she's very observant of the human behaviors and such. It was fun to watch her watch.
Yeah.
So
no,
I think
she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I forgot where we started that. The fine line.
Well, we started this with
telling people that their problem over there.
Yes. Well,
some people don't get to that point per se because they just don't.
Do they fight it?
They wouldn't accept it. There's some that wouldn't accept it. So it's almost like with them baby steps. Some people flat out say absolutely not. But there are those that get it and see it and feel it. And those are the ones that take the biggest leaps as far as, moving on in the appropriate direction for whatever it is that they want to align to.
When they find, I don't know how to phrase this, give me a second. When they find the area that they want to move toward, is there a difficulty with letting go of what has been? Because even sometimes a negative experience is more comfortable than stepping out and doing the work. And it is work. It's a conscious decision making. You have to analyze where this is going to take you, and if the cost of the change is worth it moving forward.
Right.
When people are at that level with you in the quantum work, are they ready, based on coming to the understanding that this is something that they've chosen, so it's totally within their power to change it? Are they willing to, or are they open to taking that huge step forward from everything that they know to putting themselves out there toward what they don't?
A lot of people are. I don't know that they bite the entire apple at the same time. They'll start testing the waters and start moving a bit in that direction. There are some people. I told about one client with I think it was, I don't know, in one of the videos. I've done so many videos with my program and now podcasts, and but she was having difficulties with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend would just get agitated and he would fly off the handle, and then he would start yelling at her, And then they would get into an argument, and it would just be a problem for quite a while. And I believe that it started getting physical. And when I was helping her out, it was mainly for her son. And then she told me about this, and I said, you don't have to engage. You choose to engage in that. You can just say, I don't have to engage in what it is that you're irritated about. You're taking it out on me. And so, nope, I don't have to. So I think it was about a week later, it happened within that time frame, and she says, oh my gosh, it worked. She's like, I just said no, I don't have to engage. And I turned around and I walked away from him, and it shut him right down. So
she did not know she had that power.
Right, she had no idea. She had no clue. And
that's pretty cool.
Amazing woman, and she's a Reiki master. She is massage therapist, and she also is now a restaurant owner. She just, huge. And she's in a great relationship with a man that really cares about her, loves her, and so it is about just making those choices and deciding to do things differently, and understand that what happens out here. There's somebody within the 1111 that Gary Rowley, he says, whatever's out here is just a lie. The only spot is right here. This is the only thing that's not lying. So you focus on what's in here. Everything out there can do whatever it does. And then you just look for that inner guidance and have that flow out. And you focus on that for your truth.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, that's your truth. And you met Gary, actually, at the Ozarks.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, it's so cool when, that's why I go to Eureka Springs for that conference, because there are people that are really good teachers who are getting information out. And if y'all have not been, Eureka Springs UFO Conference, y'all hear me talk about it every year. I always bring the speakers in to, talk to y'all and let you know what they're going to be doing there and stuff. But I have gone for the last several years. It's the best conference on the planet that I've been to so far. And it is, I say that because the subject matter is always on point. They have Bigfoot, they have UFOs. Of course, right now we're in such a UFO flux. Next week's show is going to be, if I can't do it next Sunday, I'm going to do it Wednesday. But we have a new set of UFO files that have been dropped, and they're brilliant. So there's some great videos. We're going to be having them and discussing them. But when you're at Ozark, you're covering everything. You're covering the information that we're sharing tonight about quantum healing and about what you can do for your life choices. This is where that began. And so there's authors of all ilk. It's just the best conference I've ever been to. And I've been to all of the big ones. They are all great. Nothing is one-on-one and special and spectacular as far as an experience like Ozarks.
I would love for you to try the Contact Modalities Expo.
Contact where?
Contact Modalities Expo. It's
where is that?
It's out of Delavan, Wisconsin.
Oh, that's cool.
It's at Lake Lawn Resort.
Lake Lawn. Well, if you'll give me information, I would love to check that out, because it's. I've never been to Wisconsin. My stepmother is from there, and she swears that it's awesome. So I would go find out for myself. But if you'll just share and we can share it as well on, talk about it too. In fact, we can talk about it through here too. But,
Yeah.
I just think that when you can get to a conference where you can meet the speakers, interact with the speakers, learn new things, understand new concepts, find out that there are new concepts
Yeah.
and stuff. I think it's just the most special thing. And I would love that. I've actually heard of it. I didn't know it was in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, they we just had the second year this year, and yeah, it was great. It was fabulous. Sarah Brustman Cosme was there. Of course, Chris Bledsoe is the main speaker. Jimmy Church. Gosh, they do a mind site
Jimmy Church.
all 3 days. So yeah, it's a fabulous work that Melissa Kane has put together, and Zach Street, and he's CE5 up by us, and it's fabulous. Actually, that was the first one. That was my first experience with a UFO or a multidimensional being sort of conference, and fabulous, great. And that's where I met Gary. Then Gary's like, hey, well, maybe you should check into the Ozark conference.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me check it out. And then, so that was in, I don't remember. Oh, that was in, I went down to Tucson this year to help Gary out and see what I could see down there. And he said, well, what about the Ozark conference? I said, well, give me the information. So I put in my application, and they were full. And I think it was like 4 weeks later, maybe 4 weeks, they said, oh, a spot opened up for you. Would you like it?
There you go.
Yeah, let's go down. So then went down to the Ozarks, and then a month later, it was the Contact Modalities Expo again. So I went there. Great. There was an artist there from Washington, D.C., Atif. I can't remember his last name because, and I feel bad about that. I'm sorry, Atif. I'll try to get that to Kat. But great artist, amazing, beautiful pieces, and they all have alien type theme or consciousness theme within them. Talk with him a little bit. What do you know? The space that I got was his, but he just couldn't pull the turnaround because he had just done a show in LA, went back and didn't want to take the turnaround to go back to Arkansas again. And so he gave up the space. And then 1 month later, I met him and was saying, hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm grateful. Yeah. So we'll be back into the Ozarks this next year.
I really, people are always so surprised when I am so high on that conference. But it really is all that. It's where I had interviewed Stanton Friedman several times. I finally got to meet him there. A lot of people that I have interviewed over the years. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've gotten to finally meet at the various conferences, and that one is the most up close, personal old home week that I have ever experienced. I was at the very first Alien Con, went to a few of those, and they are fan type events. And to actually get to where you can have a late night discussion around a fire pit about the things like this, it's important. It's
that's what I love about both of those conferences is that, I've been to a ton of metaphysical, I've been to some paranormals, but those expos I felt the most comfortable at because it didn't matter what I talked about to anybody. And we always connected. They didn't give me any judgmental looks. They didn't, look oddly at me or anything like that. It was very non-judgmental space, very conscious, and I love both of the conferences. So meeting so many different people too from all over the U.S. is great as well. So yeah, it's great.
Well, we have a question here, and we should probably get back to what our listeners want to hear a little bit too.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I'm so sorry, Melinda. But she actually said, when we were talking before, she's like, like attracts like. And that was, and when we were talking about the other stuff, she was like, but yet we're told a big fat man comes down the chimney, eats our cookies, and leaves us, gifts. So no wonder we're confused.
Mm-hmm.
But she also said, let's see if I can get this thing to scroll. There we go. I'm a little scared to touch too much up here.
Yeah.
Right now, it's been kind of odd. But she said, one always has the option to simply walk away from people that don't or won't fit in with your higher power, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But she wants to know what's your opinion on the various healing frequencies.
As far as
well, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think just
like with Kat, I used the crystal pyramid, singing pyramid, and with that, it isn't like a specific frequency, but it is the sacred geometry of the pyramid. So it is foundational, as well as it is creating a vortex of energy as it spins and as it oscillates and twirls. And what it is doing then is it's entraining the physical body as well as then aligning the energies so that anything that doesn't align with your origin frequency, with the original frequency of the body, then lifts off. And because it just can't reside there anymore. If we're talking about like biofield tuning, I feel like Eileen McCusick has done an amazing job. A lot of research has gone into her work as well. You can align a lot of the different things that she has within the body, within the auric field, as far as the different things that go on within your lifetime, and how the tuning fork, where it deadens within dense energies, and how that clears and can get brought back into your central channel. Those different areas of the body basically are saying that these bodies are data collection devices. Your auric field is a data collection device, and a lot of the different frequencies through entrainment can help with getting that frequency reset and getting the data cleared, so that it's not holding things up, so that your energy can flow much better. I really appreciate binaural beats as well.
Yes.
So we use a specific binaural beat when we do Reiki for people. It's called Anihu, Empathy with God. You can find it on YouTube. Robert C. Jameson is the composer of that. He's actually a children's author. But he was looking to attract angels with the song or with the composition. And you can actually hear angel wings in the composition, which he did not put in.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It is very cool. And the piece is amazing. The piece is really great. We've used it ever since we started doing Reiki in public for people. So whenever we do private sessions, that's of course our go-to. But what that helps to do then too is that it helps to get into an alpha state, which is more of a healing meditative state. So whatever we're doing as far as Reiki goes, or if I'm working with forks or bowls or what have you as far as sound goes, then the healing is going to be more effective because you're in more of a relaxed and more of a state to help yourself heal, which is really kind of the point. And then if you go with each individual frequency for each of the chakras, I'll use mostly like your solfeggios. So then that way you can work, because I like to work off body more than I do like to work on body. But you can work within the auric field that way. It will affect the physical body, it will affect the cells, and it will help them entrain into each cell. It'll help to clear your chakras. So yeah, frequency work is very huge. But we started working with a piece of technology through one of the practitioners through the 1111, Max Knopf, and he is a medical intuitive, and he actually got into an accident, and he can actually see energy now within the individual body, all the way down to the organs, and but he, knowing and understanding that his physical body can only do so much work, he's uploaded his consciousness and he works through a machine called the Quest 4. And so that's also, again, frequency work. So we also do stuff through like the Zyto and Evox, which is also frequency work. But this is a really pretty wild device because it works from technology. It goes through the practitioner to the person. And you can actually feel the things coming off of the person as the practitioner.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What does that feel like?
Well, you feel releases. You feel something that maybe is slow, stuck, dense, and then you feel a lift, and you can actually feel where it is within the body. You can just have this sort of presence of what is happening without actually even seeing anything on the screen, because most of the stuff is flying by pretty quick. But it's really very amazing. I'm pretty amazed at what Max does. Max is
that is just the coolest thing.
Yeah,
because and Melinda said, can you feel energy through your hands without touching and feel the bad or painful energy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can actually feel it remotely. I don't work on people. I don't touch people because being a man and
Right.
mainly
Easier that way.
have been females, and yeah, it's way easier to say I just don't work on body and have that understanding that I don't touch people. People have felt being touched while I've been working on them, but it's not me.
Right.
But yeah, I can feel energy. I can feel denseness. I can help things move through the body. I can help things clear from the body. I can do that remotely as well. Kat, how's your back feeling?
It is much better, actually.
Yeah, I've been sending you Reiki since we started.
Well, and it's so appreciated because that sucker has been giving me fits.
Yeah.
So thank you, because it's not the Tylenol that's doing that.
Yeah. But
and
yeah,
I did not bring my heating pad in here, so I knew that was not anything that I was doing.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
No problem. But yeah, I can feel energy. I've had a few moments where I was actually at the person's location, visualizing things as they were experiencing it. I try to not go that far with it per se, because I don't have to, because it's not me. It's not, it's the energy. It has nothing to do with me per se. So I try not to connect in that respect anyway. But I did have somebody recently contact me and say, I had to call, because it was like 9 o'clock at night. And he's like, I just had to call because I had to tell you what I was doing, or what I experienced with our Reiki session the other night. This guy doesn't really have practitioners work on him. He's been in this industry for a very long time, but hasn't really had people work on him. And he was going through some things physically. And I said, well, hey, can I send you Reiki? He said, yeah, sure. Let me know when. So then I'm going to go in and I'm going to meditate. Okay. So I let him know and I started things up. And started sending and sent Reiki and texted him when I was done. So his experience was a lot different, obviously. He sat there and started meditating, and I came in, like a holographic image of me came in and just sat there and was kind of with him. And then just a little while later, then another holographic image of me came in, lighter than the first one, and removed something from where he was having his pain, and walked off with it. And then just a little while later, then the first version of me walked away. And then I texted. So there's a lot of things that go on that, aren't directed per se, but happen.
Yeah.
Because with the energy is an intelligent energy. And it will go where it's needed. It will do what's necessary. I also call in angels. I also call in my guides. I also call in ascended masters. So all of this team, I connect my higher self. There's, especially during quantum sessions, that tends to get by a lot of the blockages that they may have personally, their conscious mind. So start working with things a night before or what have you. But my guides, their guides work together as well. So all of that happens. And we've seen some pretty miraculous things go on. We had one gentleman,
Well, I'm sure.
a friend of mine, he was 550 pounds at the time, and he slipped and fell and cracked his back, cracked his spine. And he couldn't have surgery because he was too big for the operating table. So he was laid up in bed for 3 months before he said anything. And this was when we had just first started doing Reiki. We were both level 1. So we jumped into bed with him and started doing Reiki. And that was the first time that he was able to get out of bed in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And so from there, he started using a walker. The next time that I went out there was by myself, and I was level 2. That was, I think, probably within a couple of weeks, and did another session. And then he went off to a cane, and he also had problems with his shoulder. And so instead, he was only able to raise it that far. Then after the second session, he was able to raise the entire thing. But yeah, he was able to get back up again, and he stopped using the cane after that, a little while after that second session. So yeah,
that's such a blessing.
Yeah, it was so amazing. I really was amazed that was what he experienced from that. So yeah.
Well, I can heal, but I don't get a lot of reasons to go and heal someone. I don't know why. It doesn't, when I do it, it's really a blessing for both of us, but I don't come across that many people that I do that with, or that need it, that I'm aware of. And Melinda in our chat room says that for her, she explains it as drawing tiny rubber bands coming from the person without touching. And they tell her that when she does that, they get some relief. And she said, by the way, P.S., I'm not an educated healer. However, I've been a healer all of my life. So, and that's kind of where I am. I just know what I can do.
Yep.
And I'm great on animals. I mean, because I have always had dogs, and I had a lab that was getting arthritis to the point of not being able to do what she needed to do. And that's where I used the most of my, I'm sorry, I have to do this right quick. trying to. Something was going awry there. I think we're good now. Sorry. But it was because I flow through my palms, and they get really, really hot. And, without me having to really do anything. And that's where my healing comes from. I don't travel, astrally to do it. I don't do very much at all. I just do what I do. And she says that animals have taught her everything she knows. I would agree with that, because without that, I would be just me doing myself. And you can't always do yourself. I can't always do myself. I wish I could, but it's so wonderful that you can do that from away, because to be able to flow it and that directed a purpose blows me away. I think that's brilliant. And
well, you do understand the quantum. Understand
yes,
it, right? So everything is here, everything is now, everything is everything.
yes.
So,
But I have a hard time. I do understand that. I have a hard time manipulating that, for lack of a better word,
okay.
of understanding how to interact that way. How did you, that's not really right. I can, like, if I know somebody is upset, my best friend lives in Ohio.
Okay.
She has a lot of stuff that is you met her, Lori, the tall redhead.
Okay.
But, she is much better at asking and focusing on things sometimes than I am. My ADHD, and I do have ADHD, and it gets in the way sometimes. But because I sometimes, to reach her, I really have to focus, and it takes meditation to be able to do that. But I can send and receive energy anywhere to anyone. That I can do, but not healing. I haven't been aware that I was able to do healing like that. Like, my back is so much better right now; it's unreal, and my Tylenol should have already worn off. So thank you for that. But it really is something that, everything, everywhere, all the time is real. It really is real.
Yep.
But when I'm married to a machinist who is very rigid, I make him crazy. But it's so much fun to watch it. He's known me since I was 19. It's all good.
Yeah.
Since I was 17, really. But it's a whole different mindset than what I need to do with that. And he's actually gotten pretty good, because when I was doing a healing, he asked me, because I was trying to triangulate something.
Okay.
Now, this was actually an investigation. The healing was not that. But I was trying to triangulate something, and he's like, well, do you want me to take this over here so that you can actually get this done appropriately? And I was like, that'd be really helpful. Thank you. So now he helps me with it. But I haven't really, I guess I just don't trust myself all the time, Noreen. I just don't trust myself all the time.
Yep. Understandable. Yep. Yeah.
I know I have something here. And I think that's where training would come in.
Yeah, and it's about allowing. It's about I know some people too that they continuously go through, like, the first level of Reiki, and either they don't feel worthy, they feel like they're going to mess something up, they feel like they're going to break something, or they're going to do something wrong. And especially, like, with Reiki, there's nothing you can do that's wrong, because it is spirit guided. So there's absolutely nothing that's going to go wrong. It's just about allowing. And it's about allowing the flow, and it's about setting aside any ego, any sort of judgment, any sort of anything, and just allowing it
Judgment
to.
is sometimes an issue.
Yep.
I've got a hard time with that. Not
Yeah.
judging myself, but fearing judgment, which sounds, I mean, I don't really fear much, but that seems to resonate a little bit when you said that.
Well, I know I went to the gentleman that I talked about with the broken back. He actually passed a couple of years ago, and I went to his celebration of life, and there was a friend there, or an old friend there, shall I say, and said something about Reiki, and she's like, "Oh, so you're telling me that you can do healings like Jesus Christ?" Yeah, no. And I'm like, well, I'm not saying that.
But I can heal. That would be an awkward conversation.
Yeah, and so when it's something confrontational like that, then I really just don't put anything into it, and I take the same sort of tone as, that's not for me. It's just no, it's not a conversation for me to have. Yeah, so there's judgment from externals. That's why it's nice to have conversations with people that actually understand and that get it, and that realize that anything is possible within this reality if you actually believe and allow, and you have intention, and you align with it. So yeah, that's somewhat difficult to find in the area that I live in, but
really.
What do you know? Yeah.
That seems odd. I would think that, then again, back to my stepmother. Grew up in Madison, went to the University of Wisconsin. She is much more loose than she used to be with her mindset, but still not very relaxed. So it's just one of those things. So I could see where certain areas around you might be rigid to a degree.
They're opening up a little more to some things, so it's becoming a little bit easier. But there's a couple of things that they really appreciate, and that's alcohol. Alcohol is a big one. So yeah, I live in the drunkest area in the entire U.S.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Well, we've got a couple of more people joining in, and just so y'all know, Noreen and Always in Time Out, if you have questions, we are discussing quantum healing and just anything basically that you want to ask, please feel free. This is Frank. He is a healer, and he is an energy worker, and he actually helped me a lot with his pyramid when we were in Arkansas. So I knew I had to have this interview at some point. I'm sorry it took so long, but it's such a good one. But, I'm having so much fun. But and Melinda had to go and feed starving dogs that have never eaten, so because they were so she, I'm sure she's still listening, but she just can't type. But I just find that I actually, over the last year, have gotten to where I will reach out a lot more than, if I know that somebody is having an issue. And one of my friends, who is a brilliant psychic, and he's a little scary. He really is. And I tell him that, okay. But, his ability to do energy work is, and he sees everything. Everybody, everything, all the auras. I saw him channel at one point, and his whole facial structure changed. That actually wigged me out a little bit. but because it was the first time.
Wow.
I didn't know that the human body could do that,
Mm-hmm.
but it did. But his ability to alter things is really powerful. And I'm just glad he likes me. I'm just going to say that. But it's really very intimidating sometimes because he knows everything. I mean, there's no secrets, and everybody needs some secrets. But it's funny because he can clear my energy if I'm just really too upset to do it. You know, if I'm not thinking that I need to, but there's stuff going on. And he's like, "Can I just reach in for a moment?" And I'm like, "Well, gently, gently." But I am not the person that has ever tried to reach out outside of my immediate real, except to calm someone, or, you know, my daughter was in another state in a very, I think it's a kind of tough city to live in. And all of a sudden, I just got that she was in so much danger. And she was thinking, oh my God, I wish my mom was here, you know. And I didn't know what it was, and I didn't have any idea, but I just shielded her. And so I do know that I can project my energy in that environment. Is the mechanism for reaching out with healing similar to that? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Very similar. So ultimately, I just need either an image or to have met the person and remember them, and then set an intention. And that's ultimately and then, well, for me, it's because I use Reiki, so I've got to just turn it on, which is ultimately just a thought for me at this point. And once that happens, then everything is flowing, everything is going, and I don't actually have to cognitively be a part of it. And the energy flows. Yeah.
Well, because it still is.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, it is.
And with energy,
I
can send it in the past, I can put it into the future. So, like, let's say you've got a chronic illness or chronic pain. So I can send it to the exact moment that pain started. Say if it happened in your childhood, then I will send it to that. I will send it to the current moment, so that way then the pain will subside or lessen. And then I can send it into the future, depending upon what's occurring. So it really kind of varies, depends upon the person, depends upon what it is that they're going through. So even if, say, you're going to have an experience in the next few days, let's say you're having surgery. So I can actually send it to you all the way up through the surgery if that's what needs to occur. Or I can send it to you now to lessen your anxiety so that things will be better going into the surgery. And then I can have Reiki sitting there throughout the entire time that you're in surgery. And then I can also send it to the recovery. So with Reiki, it's pretty amazing because it just is kind of a constant flow that is intention directed. So I can.
That's wicked cool.
And then I can also, because I work with angels, then they can be with you through that time, the whole time that it's necessary, up until it's not necessary anymore, or as long as it doesn't infringe upon your free will. Yeah. But yeah, it's very cool, very, very amazing. So
it is very amazing.
Yeah, I think what we have, as far as me and Julie combined, is a really great way of helping to care for the mind, body, soul, and emotions. And it gets a little difficult sometimes because of where we are as far as our understanding of consciousness and our understanding of the experience. So sometimes people just only want a little portion of what we have or what we can offer, and that's understandable because not everyone can, take that conscious leap of this is the direction that I'm going to take in my life, and now I know that I'm responsible for everything, and okay, let's move forward. Let's clear all this blockage. Let's do the shadow work. Let's, actually open my eyes to the fact that it's all me. The entire thing, everything that I'm experiencing is me. And now I need to shed the old skin. And now I need to step into the new. And now I need to, get immersed in light. But sometimes it takes a bit. It's not exactly the easiest pill to swallow.
Sometimes the best things are the toughest,
right?
To step into, because it's overwhelming to think sometimes. The first time because I did Reiki training, and the first time that I tried to flow to someone, I was like, should I tell them that's what I'm doing? What if they don't want it, but I know they really need it? I mean, so finally I just called and said, look, I know that this is wrong with you. Can I flow you some comfort? And that's how I phrased it. And they were like, well, knock yourself out. And I said, thanks. I just wanted to help if I can. And that was the first time I had ever done that. And it worked. But I was feeling a little something about having that conversation, because I didn't know how that was going to go.
Yep.
And lo and behold, there it went, and it was great. And so I can do that. I just don't very often, because I'm always afraid that it's not going to be received well or be a positive thing. But I use it like the Dickens on my dogs and sometimes my husband.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't always ask, but well, he doesn't ask before he brings a pound cake home either. So there's that.
Or brownies.
Or brownies.
Right.
I cannot have brownies in my house. That is my weakness. That is my kryptonite.
Yeah.
But, or sushi, but sushi's not so bad because, I like that. But, it really is mind blowing to me that you went from just doing some Reiki and, such, and you have moved into the quantum healing, because that is, to me, that's so specific. And so, like I said, the people I know who do this, who are also trained in this, and I haven't known them in the part of their lives that they have used this. One of them is a researcher and author who is very serious in her writing, and very detailed and stuff. And it's UFO based, alien based. It's very interesting, but very heavy. So when I found out that she was a quantum healer, I was like, really? I didn't know that. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
And so, it's a whole nother side. And then, the other one completely was born a healer. She is one of Dolores's daughters. And when I first interviewed her, I was like, tell me about this. And she was like, well, Da, 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 da. I'm like, get out of town. And she's like, no, really. You can train for it. And I was like, well, I'm going to look into that. But, it was just mind blowing how that works. And then I'm coming across people like you who are doing it still. And you've got a great business. You've got a great business. You've got full body wellness, full person wellness, and, head to toe, mind and soul. I mean, you're doing all kinds of healing and guidance and training and the things that you need to do to be a better, healthier human you provide. And, I just think that's so amazing. I think it's cool. I think that the fact that you have stepped into doing that is, and I know that you did it because of the lacking in your youth, but to be able to come forward and bring that and be fulfilled yourself and then bring fulfillment to others, healing to others, because you had to heal yourself first.
Yeah. I think part of it was our journey also. Well, no, I know that that's a big part of it was our journey, and falling down with nobody there to support or to catch, that was probably the harder part. And to not have the community. So that's where that started. And now it's took it from where I was at. And just over a year ago, I started kind of looking at how many people I can actually help. And I found that the number was pretty small because I don't know of too many people that do more than one quantum healing session in a day. And some of my sessions get pretty long. The longest one that I've had so far was 12 hours. So I can only help so many people. And throughout a year, that's, not too many people. I can be there to support people, through community, through other groups. So what I did is I started to put together a coaching program that's a self-paced program. And I had all intentions of just like putting it on school and just kind of letting it go and just seeing how I can help people that way. But instead, I started bringing additional practitioners, experts, collaborators into the project with me. And it went from something that I was going to put onto school to something that I built a platform around. So later on this year, I'll actually have that platform put out for everybody. And it's got a 9-month coaching program on it. It's got a booking section within it, marketplace, live stream events, full calendar of events, additional workshops. So all of that is put into this platform, and everything is called 1111 Collective Connection.
Yes.
So that way, then people will have community around them as they're going through and growing or starting their journey or whatever it really looks like for you. I'm pretty confident that this coaching program and this platform is going to be.
We just froze.
Try. Oh. But
we seem to be frozen.
Oh, yeah, you're frozen. Actually, I'm
Carl?
There you are. Hello.
There you are. I don't know what just happened, but you know what? And it was just as you were reaching your most passionate point.
Oh, well.
But go ahead.
So anyways, yeah, the 1111 Collective Connection is going to be later on this year. Right now, we're on a Facebook group called the 1111 Collective Connection. So if you want to come on and check things out, I've got clips of the different videos from the different practitioners. on there, as well as just some information. So right now that's what we're gathering. What's that? I'm sorry?
I have a couple of your clips.
Yeah, actually, if you want to play them, or that's great. And those are
Absolutely,
just a
I
few.
do.
Perfect.
So let's see. Let me see if I can, because I've got this little thing where it's trying to connect to my, uh-oh. I don't know what just happened, but that's all good. Let's see, media assets. Here we go. This is mastering boundaries. I have the 1111 portal. Finding the silver lining, uncover your true Reiki energy, and build your spiritual, uncover your true self beyond learned worry. What would you like to start with?
Any of the above is great.
Let's go with mastering boundaries.
Okay.
Your sanity and success guide.
Perfect. It's gotten so much better over the years. And when I started really realizing that, you have to say no to some degree, just to at least keep your sanity and to make sure that you are giving whatever you can to whatever you're saying yes to and whatever you're supposed to show up for. So
it froze.
It's gotten so much better over the years. And when I started really realizing that, you have to say no to some degree, just to at least keep your sanity and to make sure that you are giving whatever you can to whatever you're saying yes to and whatever you're supposed to show up for. So creating boundaries is one of those ways that I really have helped myself do that and, give more of a percentage of myself to those that are supposed to be getting it instead of just those people that, are around. My life has really gone from being all over the place and being a yes man to being tell me a little more about that. And then I'll give you a yes or a no. I'm not always great with it, but my boundaries have come a long way over the years, to being something a lot more of whether this is going to be good for everybody or not, whether it's going to be beneficial. Is it something that I have the energy for, which is another thing. The more that I give out and don't replenish, like Kelly was saying, the well just keeps on emptying. And if you don't have it to give, then nobody's going to be satisfied with that. And as much as you continue to show up, if you're diminished in your capacity, you're not showing up for anybody, including yourself. And that's where it really becomes where you have to give yourself that time. You have to do the self-care and you have to create those boundaries. And I know that we've talked about boundaries before this, but they're super important. And no matter who is that person that's receiving that boundary or that you're setting that boundary for, it can be your spouse, it can be, direct family, it can be a client, it can be just
your dog.
It can be your dog, right? So it's like, okay, I don't have it for you right now. And I know you don't understand, but let's just cuddle and we'll be okay. But it really, it's very important to have those boundaries when you're trying to show up And like Kelly said, if things are just not flowing and you need to take a little bit of time for yourself, take a little time for yourself, because that is going to help you show up in the best way possible the next time that you have to show up.
That's such a big deal. And that's something that people forget.
Absolutely. And that was actually, it's a much longer video about showing up with Kelly Wagner from The Edge magazine. She's the publisher. And that's all a part of the program. But it's huge when you start looking at your life and where your energy is going and how it's flowing out from you. And especially people that are of service people. So if you're of service to everybody, it really gets tricky when you need to start putting up boundaries, because you're used to just letting it flow. You're there for other people. Well, actually, you're there for yourself, and they're gaining benefit. And I know it's very, very difficult to understand sometimes, especially people that are more empathic in nature as well. You're looking to soothe people because you're connecting with their energies all the time. And so you know how people feel about certain things or situations, or how they feel in general about their life. And you're looking outward at helping. And sometimes it's just a free flow. But who gets lost? You get lost. And that's a huge problem, because you only have so much to give. And I have, and I'm sure that at times I still do, only give so much to my spouse, because that's what I have left. And that's the wrong thinking. The life that you live is yours, and the people that are closest to you, that's your circle. That's your energy flow. That is the people that are there to support you, whether you're happy, sad, up, down, whatever your day looks like. So those are the people that you're giving the energy to. And so the closer that you can keep your energy, the better your choices are. And the more you can show up for them, the more you can show up for yourself. But yeah, saying no. It is a word. It is a complete word. It's a complete statement.
It's a complete sentence.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. Yeah.
And it's okay.
It is. It is okay.
But I have a hard time with that. I'm a Southern woman. I have a hard time with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it can be difficult, but yeah, you're not really saying no. You're saying yes to something different, and you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to whatever that looks like on the other end of saying no. So it can be that you're going to do something else. That's your yes. It can be that you're.
Well, I have gotten to where I'm much better at no. Mm-hmm. So, or I just don't have the energy for that. Mm-hmm. Or, I just don't think I need to leave the dogs today. Yeah. I use all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. They need me more than you do. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this 1111 portal.
Okay.
I think,
I think I recall which one that was.
Unlock your it's a short one. It's very short.
Oh yeah. 1111 portal is all about transformation. And when you start looking at what it is that we're bringing to the table here, it is about transformation. It's about transforming so many different aspects of self within the program that it just fits so well. For one, my birthday is also 11/11. So there is that. So there is that.
There is that. That was my favorite line of the whole thing.
Yeah. Well,
I'm 11/7, so
perfect.
there's that.
And 11 is a power number as well in numerology. It's a master number. And then collective connection is collectively 11. So it is 11, 11, 11.
Yeah.
So
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
And I'm going to run this build your spiritual consciousness with community support, because this is what we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to get this one in here.
Well, to have more people's perspective put into this, especially people that I align with energetically, mentally, that's amazing for other people. So to have that support, to have that community, that's what I wanted to bring forth. So Angela was one of the first 3 people that I reached out to bring into this platform as a support, as an expert, as a practitioner, as a contributor. So now I'm looking at, we're over 20 practitioners that are a part of the platform, but each person brings a little bit something from their experiences, from the modalities that they bring in, and in with the framework of the modules that are within the program, which is roughly about a 9-month program. Then we just have conversations, and that brings more to light for the person based around whatever is in the coaching program. And I think through it, so many times it's said, but I definitely try and reiterate this as many times as possible. We are not gurus that are standing on top of the mountain that are looking down at you saying, "Hey, do you need a hand down there?" we're living life too, and we are going about our life right along with you, and we are just here to lend support and things that we know how to help with and give you aid and community, so that when you're going through whatever it is you're going through, you're not doing it alone. You have places to reach out. So all of these things are going to be wrapped up and bundled into this singular platform that has limited distractions, but limited distractions, and everybody is directed towards that particular singular purpose, and that is spiritual consciousness. And that is elevating people, lifting them up, giving them support, community, and assisting along the way. I do want to say that was Angela Zabel from the Edge Talk Radio.
Yes.
That podcast is actually going to be released August 8th.
Well, we are out of time, but all of these clips you can find on his websites. Find him on Facebook. Go find him on Facebook. Check out his wellness company and check him out. He's a really great guy. Thank you so much for being here. Do you want to tell them your email?
You can. Sure. You can contact me at frank@BUELOW wellness.com. Our website is BUELOWwellness.com. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I have just enjoyed every minute of this conversation, and we'll have to do it again because you've got a lot more stuff.
We've got time.
For everyone listening, thank you so much for being here. Be blessed. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Same cat time, same cat channel. Good night. Good night, Frank.